Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something really important in SAP S/4HANA development. It's a tiny line of code that looks so innocent, but oh man, it can bring an entire system to its knees. I'm talking, of course, about the perils of select star.
So, let me just start with a question for you. What if that piece of code you just wrote, the one that passed all the tests, works perfectly, looks great, what if it was actually a ticking time bomb just waiting to go off in production? You know the feeling, right? You're building a brand new S/4HANA app. Everything's clicking, the logic is solid, the UI looks sharp, and in your development system, it is just flying. You're thinking, this is going to be a huge success.
But then, go live day. The moment your app hits the real world with real data, boom, it all just falls apart. Performance goes through the floor, users are getting short dumps left and right, and your phone starts ringing off the hook. What on earth went wrong?
Yeah, that's a classic production nightmare. And today, we are going to unmask the culprit. And trust me, it's usually hiding in plain sight.
And here it is. This is our culprit. Select star. It's probably one of the very first things any of us ever learned in SQL, right? It's just a simple command to the database that says, hey, give me everything, every single column from this table. Seems easy enough, maybe a little too easy.
In fact, the source material for this actually calls it the silent killer behind all this. And that's such a perfect description, isn't it? Because its danger isn't obvious at all. It won't give you a syntax error, it just sits there, quietly sabotaging your app's performance and stability from the inside. Think about it like this. It's like walking into a restaurant and telling the waiter, "I'll have one of everything on the menu, please," when all you really wanted was a single cup of coffee. It's incredibly wasteful, it's going to be super slow, and well, that's exactly what select star is doing to your database.
All right, so let's really dig into this silent killer. We're going to break down exactly why this little shortcut is so incredibly dangerous, especially in the world of S/4HANA.
And this slide right here, it gets right to the heart of the problem. See, on the left, that's HANA's superpower. It's an in-memory, column-based database. That means it is optimized to be lightning fast by reading only the specific columns you ask for. But then look at the right. Select star completely cancels out that advantage. It forces HANA to grab every single column, even the hundreds you don't actually need, basically throwing its best feature right out the window.
And the immediate fallout from that? Well, it's pretty severe. You're wasting precious memory, you're clogging up the network with all this useless data, and your app's response times just get slower and slower. And worst of all, you're literally stopping the super smart HANA optimizer from doing its job.
But you know, the long-term risks are even scarier. S/4HANA tables are always changing. SAP adds new fields all the time. Your select star will suddenly start grabbing these new fields that your program has no idea what to do with, and that's when you get those mysterious runtime errors. It's a total violation of clean core best practices, and it just creates this legacy of code that is a complete nightmare to try and fix later. Okay, so we've gotten pretty technical. But what does all of this actually mean for the business? And maybe more importantly, what does it mean for the actual people who have to use these applications every single day?
So let's connect the dots. Let's look at why select everything fails in the real world, because this is where all that technical debt turns into very real, very painful business problems.
The impact is, well, it's direct and it's painful. We're talking about reports that take forever to load, Fury apps that just time out and crash. And what does that lead to? Frustrated, unhappy users who can't do their jobs. And for the developers, it's a debugging nightmare, trying to hunt down the problem inside hundreds of these seemingly harmless select everything statements.
But here's the good news. The fix, the solution, is actually incredibly simple. It's what our source material calls the S/4HANA Golden Rule, and it's the key to writing some seriously powerful code.
Okay, just look at this slide. It's so clear when you see it side by side. On the left, you've got the old, lazy, dangerous way, select star. But on the right, you have the S/4HANA way. See the difference? Instead of just asking for everything, we are being explicit. We're listing the exact fields we need, the company code, the document number, the fiscal year. It's precise, it's intentional, and it is so much more efficient.
And there it is, the golden rule itself. And it really is as simple as it sounds. Always select only the fields you need. Nothing more, nothing less. If you can burn this into your brain and make it a habit, it will completely change the quality and the performance of your code, I promise.
And when you follow this rule, you're not just dodging bullets.
You're not just avoiding problems. You start to actively build faster, safer code. And the rewards for doing that are real, and you'll see them almost immediately.
I mean, the payoff is huge. First, you get faster apps, because now you're working with the HANA database, not fighting against it. Second, you get much safer upgrades, because your code isn't just going to break the next time SAP adds a field to a table. And third, you get scalable code that can handle more and more data without just falling over.
And let's bring this back to you, the developer. This isn't just some academic best practice. Writing clean, explicit code like this is what makes your solutions last. It's the kind of code that survives for years, and frankly, it's the kind of deep knowledge that really impresses people in a technical interview. It shows you know how to build for the future.
So I'll leave you with this one final thought. Every single line of code you write is part of your professional legacy. So what will the presence, or hopefully the absence, of Select Everything say about yours?